Good morning, everyone. I'm Ann, and thank you so much for joining me this morning for our Break for 8 for Dementia Care Partners. Today, I would like to talk about something that I have learned the hard way, and something that dementia has taught me, and that is flexibility. When dementia enters the pictures, a rigid and controlling approach to life, one that maybe my children would say I have, this approach often starts to crack and crumble because let's face it, life with dementia is largely unpredictable. And when we try to control things from a rigid perspective during dementia care, more often than not, I've found it backfiring on me. So let me just give you an example. I'm working with a woman, wonderful woman, and a wonderful couple, actually, a wonderful woman and her husband who was just diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. And so it's been very difficult for her to, not very difficult, but she's had challenges like we all do, trying to redirect him when he gets something in his mind that he has his heart set on doing. And because he's so zoomed in and focused on his task, it's just really hard to break him out of that. So a little bit more about the wife. So she is a retired, she's retired now, but she was a very accomplished, high-powered business executive when she was working. So she's used to running the show. She's run the show very, very well. In the past, she is a strong leader and she tells people what to do, and she's really good at it. She always has been. So many of you are probably smiling right now because you probably know where I'm going with this. So as you can imagine, her normal, direct way of communicating doesn't always or rarely actually now works well in this new world of dementia that they're navigating. So one day, her husband decided that he really wanted to measure their extra room in their apartment. So he got out the measuring tape and he was kind of going about his task of measuring the walls, and his wife came upon the scene and asked what he was doing, and he told her he wanted to buy new furniture for this room because he wanted to have some bedroom furniture so when family came to visit, they would have a place, to sleep with them. So the wife has absolutely no desire to add a bedroom set to this already cramped room that they're using for an office because, yes, it's currently functioning as an office, and B, there's no room for a bedroom set, and C, there's no need actually because there's some other options for overnight guests to stay right within their apartment building. They have it's a senior living complex. They have a nice, lovely guest suite that can be reserved for family members when they come to town. So her first reaction is to try to direct the show and explain, points A, B, and C to her husband. But she's quickly learning that contradicting him makes him very, very angry. A sense of agency is very, very important to him. And if she's contradicting him or arguing with him or trying to rationalize with him, in this situation, he got to the point where he became agitated, a little bit agitated, and he started throwing things at her. So now, over the last few months, she's learned to communicate in a better way that doesn't involve contradicting or kind of engaging in sort of a power struggle. So she really wards off a lot of these situations. But, this time she forgot. She lost her patience, and that's going to happen to the best of us from time to time because we are not perfect, right? So if she does sense that he's kind of reaching a point where he's becoming really upset, she's actually learned that it's best for her to simply leave the room or even the apartment be, number one, to keep herself safe, but also she's kind of the trigger. If she's arguing with him, she's the one who is really inciting his difficult reaction. So to move herself, remove herself from the situation, she's really removing the target. Unfortunately, it's her, but she's learned that this really helps. So she's giving him a chance when she leaves to really settle down. There's no one to yell at, right? And she also gives herself a chance just to pause, take a breath, regroup, and just come at the situation a little bit later with a different approach. She can formulate a different response to his desire to measure the spare room. So when she returned to the apartment, instead of just ignoring him or contradicting him, fighting with him, she says this, I think this might help you as you measure. And she brings him a pad of paper and a pencil so he can write down the measurements and keep track of his information. So he goes on, about his business, measuring the room, which occupies him for a while with something that's really purposeful and meaningful to him. And no, he never moved on to the next step of actually shopping for furniture. So the whole episode ended right there in that moment. So kind of taking that moment to regroup, the wife allowed flexibility to enter the picture, flexibility in the way she was viewing the situation. So she was able to consider her husband's perspective and his reality when she stepped away. And then when she abandoned her way and went along with his, the problem pretty much resolved itself. So I often use the ocean and waves as an analogy for dementia. So, if we're floating on top of the water, we're in the ocean where it's wavy. If we're floating on top of the water, if you never notice, you kind of bob up and down with the waves as they come at you. But if we stand up and we get in the way of a large, powerful wave, we can easily get knocked down, just smacked in the face when we are too rigid. So better to be a surfer that's more flexible than a rigid, stiff, like pier that's getting repeatedly slammed by rough waters, right? So flexibility allows us to ride the waves of dementia with greater ease because we recognize when something isn't working, and then we can pivot to a new approach when we're not so locked in to our controlling mode. Flexibility often opens the door for creativity and new solutions, like it did for my client and her husband, right? Okay, so now it's time to sit back and relax. Let's just settle in to this morning's meditation. So start with a few grounding breaths, just whatever way of breathing feels good to you. Just become aware of the in-breath going in and the out-breath going out. In-breath in, out-breath out. Today I'd like to invite you to reflect on the concept of allowing. Allowing from a mindfulness perspective just simply means embracing each moment as it comes, free from any rigid expectations of what is the right and the wrong way to do things, and free from any internal pressure to fix or control things. Allowing allows us to surrender our need for control. Allowing creates space for creativity. Allowing creates space where intuition can flourish. When we surrender control, a path can be revealed that we didn't notice before. Surrendering also can introduce us to skills we didn't know we had, like patience or flexibility. Relaxing our fixation on the specific results we desire can instantly relax our whole body. It allows the present moment to guide us rather than being dictated by a rigid vision. Dementia can be a bit relentless in its desire to teach us that we can't always be in control. When we allow the moments we spend with our person to unfold, we can sidestep the discomfort that arises when we butt up against something we can't fix or change. Loosening our grip and allowing life to unfold can bring a new appreciation for the journey of life, for the time we spend with our loved one, and for finding peace in the present moment. So as you sit here, just begin to allow your body to relax even more. Just allow those shoulders to drop, removing the tension from your back, from your neck. Relaxing the muscles of your jaw, your forehead. And as you breathe in and out, just release any tension from your abdominal area. Just allow your fingers and your arms, your legs to feel heavy. As they relax into the surface that supports you. Let's just take another grounding breath up through the bottoms of your feet, traveling up to the top of your head, holding there for a moment, and then exhaling and holding that exhale for as long as you can. Take a few more breaths here, just like that. Just allowing yourself to soothe yourself. allowing that little nugget of peace that resides within you to come to the forefront. Please just take a few more gentle breaths here. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Just try to become aware, maybe of where you're holding tension because you're forcing the issue. Where you are met with resistance, where maybe you could find a different way, find a way to be more flexible. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.